Oh boy, look at this. You know what fig that is? Nuestra Señora del Carmen. I didn't even see it here. Bummer. Spoiled. Maybe I can salvage some of this. All right, so there's a lot of anticipation about this fig. This is Nuestra Señora del Carmen. And let me see if I can find that other one. Hold on one second, I'm just sorting through my fig bag here. I think it's this one. Yeah, so I've got let's pull this one out here. I've got an unknown. It's not really an unknown, it's just I messed up the label on it, and let me pull it out of this bag. Yeah, I messed up the label on this one, so I'm not sure what this is. I've been suspicious that this might be Nuestra Señora del Carmen because I have a bunch of those left over from the rooted cuttings I did this spring. I had some of the grafts I wasn't real happy with, and so I just ended up keeping those. And so I suspected this might have been Nuestra Señora del Carmen, but I know for a fact that this is Nuestra Señora del Carmen. And yeah, they don't really look the same to me, so I don't think that is. I think that's just, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, this is Nuestra Señora del Carmen, and unfortunately, I didn't see it on the tree. I don't know how I missed that one. But so because I didn't see it, I didn't get an organza bag on it, and then, you know, I ended up getting some spoilage here. But let me go ahead and cut this open. Let me see if I can salvage any piece of this, because I know there is a lot of interest in this fig variety, and not a lot of information out there really. Okay, so yeah, you know what? That actually looks pretty good. You know, it's been said that sometimes the best tasting figs are the ones you didn't see. And so you end up not picking them until, you know, you end up not picking them too early. And I think, you know, I think those two pieces look pretty good. This one, I'm gonna have to cut some of that one off. There is some spoilage on there. I mean, it looks good, but there's some spoilage on there. And I'll have to cut some of that one too. Let me just trim those up a little bit. All right, so I think I trimmed off all the bad parts. So this, I'm just gonna throw that out. It probably would have tasted really good if it wasn't spoiled, but I think the rest of this is edible. So that actually looks really good. You have a lot of kind of fleshiness up here towards the top, which is a little weird. The fig itself was shaped kind of weird because it was kind of sandwiched between the branch and like a supporting thing that was holding up the plant. Let me go back and show that tree, since it looks like this is actually gonna turn out to be something. I'm gonna grab a leaf and take a photo. All right, so as I mentioned, I've got several of these Nuestra Señora del Carmen trees. They were rooted cuttings that I wasn't happy with the graft, because I did a bunch of grafts to make maximum use of the limited sign material that I had last year. And the grafts that I didn't like, I ended up keeping those because I didn't want to throw them out because they were too valuable, and but I didn't want to sell them because I wasn't happy with them. So I ended up keeping them, and so now I've got several Nuestra Señora del Carmen trees, and honestly, I've kind of forgotten where they all are. I mean, they're all just like, you know, I've got the mother tree, the main mother tree, on my deck, kind of in a prime spot, and I'm still waiting for that one to produce figs. But turns out I got one here from this tree, which is I grew this from a cutting this winter, so I mean, this is a first year tree technically. And I mentioned the graft. I wasn't real happy with the graft. It actually wasn't the problem of the graft. It didn't cause this. It was a windstorm came through and I hadn't supported it, and the windstorm broke the tree at the graft, but it didn't break it all the way through. And so what I did is I took a support here and I just tied it up And it's actually healed over really nicely now. I should probably take that off, but I won't. I'll just leave it for now, because why mess with a good thing, right? It's working, so why mess with it? Anyway, the fig was just right here, and I didn't see it, and it was kind of I don't know if it was wedged in between something, but it was a little oddly shaped. But here's the rest of the tree. You can see it's grown out really nice, you know, plenty big, and producing quite a few fruits too. So yeah, looks like I got something out of that graft. In any case, it looks like it produced my first Nuestra Señora del Carmen fruit of the season. So let me grab one of these leaves, I'll take a photo, and then I'll try the fruit and see how it tastes. All right, so there we go. Got my photo, and now it's time to try it. All right, the moment of truth. So I did get, I think it was I get 3 figs last year off my Nuestra Señora del Carmen tree, and they tasted good. I mean, they were good. But I did finish ripening them under grow lights, so it wasn't entirely fully ripened out in the normal, you know, Northern Virginia weather. But this one was ripened from beginning to end here out in the weather. So be interested to see how this tastes. And also, you know, I should be getting a lot of Nuestra Señora del Carmen figs this year, because I've got several trees and they're all producing lots of fruit. So there should be plenty more opportunities to taste this fig, but this will be the first opportunity this year, and this looks to be very well ripened. You know, I hope this tastes as good as it looks, because it looks really good. So let me go ahead and try this. I'll start with this really nice looking piece right here. That's really good. Yeah. Really nice, rich berry flavor. Nice sweetness. Let me try some more. That one had just a little bit of sort of nuttiness to it. And let me try this last piece. Yeah, just really sweet and a really rich berry flavor. Not a simple berry flavor like Strawberry Verte is the perfect example that I use of a simple berry flavor. I mean, that just tastes like straight strawberry Kool-Aid. And this wasn't like that. It was a more complex berry flavor, really sweet. Well, maybe really sweet. It's sweet. It's definitely sweet, but it's got nice, rich berry flavor as well. Unfortunately, I am not a professional taste tester, so there's probably people that could do a better job of describing the taste of that fig than me. But suffice to say, it tasted really good. Nice sweetness and a really nice, rich berry flavor. So that's really good. That's good. Because I was one of the first people last year outside of California, maybe the first, I don't know, to kind of vouch for Nuestra Señora del Carmen as being as having a decent taste outside of California. So I am glad that it still tastes good here in 2021. But no, that was no exaggeration. That was legitimately a really good tasting fig. So that's good. Nuestra Señora del Carmen continuing to produce good tasting fruit here in Northern Virginia. At least on that first fig of the year. I wish I could have eaten all of it, but I did get to eat most of it. And I'm looking forward to trying a lot more of those. And like I said, I do have a lot of fruits on their way to ripening here. So hopefully they will ripen. I will say, speaking of ripening, so one thing is you know, it's still kind of unclear what the ripening date of that fig is, like whether, you know, is it a mid-season fig or is it a late season fig? Clearly it's not an early season fig, because I've had many fig varieties ripen. Nuestra Señora del Carmen has not been one of them, at least not until this moment. And it's hard to say how much of that particular one that I just ate, the ripening date, how much that ripening date was influenced by the fact that it was started under grow lights over the winter, and then it put in a greenhouse. So the one tree that wasn't under grow lights, that was just in the greenhouse, I'm still waiting, and that was my mother tree. I'm still waiting on that one to ripen its first figs. I think it's getting closer, but just based on the fact that it has not ripened a fig yet, I would say it's definitely not an early season fig. But you know, a lot of times those varieties with the complex berry flavor, the really good varieties like Black Madeira, I mean, they're just not early figs, you know? If there was an early variety that had a great flavor like that, I mean, just stop growing everything else, right? That's the one to get. So I don't think this is that. I don't think this is an early Black Madeira, you know, quality type fig. But it is a really good fig. And so if you can get it to ripen, I think people are in for a treat. So yeah, that was my first look here in 2021 at Nuestra Señora del Carmen. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe and check out my website, www.figlife.com. Thanks.